What's going on YouTube? In today's video, we're going to be taking this dusty old record player that I got from some guy on Facebook Marketplace, and pretty sure he pulled it out of a barn. We're going to be turning it into my home PC setup. This is pretty atypical. Normally on this channel I do car mods and that sort of stuff, but I wanted to change it up a little bit here and try something different and unique. So taking the bottom off here, you can see I flipped the thing up, took the lid off. And that is some old school circuitry in there. As soon as I open it up, the whole thing just kind of smells like dielectric grease. And something definitely leaked or blew up. God only knows what happens to this thing. I think a cat might have peed on it or something because there's cat scratches all over this. I think it was using it as a scratching post. So now, next step is to start gutting all of this. I want to preserve some of the cooler pieces, probably none of this behind the scenes electronics. But if we look over here, there's definitely a cool fascia to this that I'm going to keep. And if I can incorporate any of these things, like the logo, that turn thing, any of that into the PC, I definitely will. Okay, I take it back. As I was starting to disassemble, that little thing fell out there. So there's not a cat living and peeing in this. It looks like there was some sort of rat or rodent, because that, ew, that is a cat, or that is a rodent hand. That's like a dead rat's decomposed hand. That's disgusting. So I've gotten all of the turntable stuff out of the turntable tray, and I'm currently soaking the knobs in a little solution of Dawn and stuff. I'll leave those to sit overnight. And now the question is, what do I do with this? So I definitely want to keep that, but it's filthy as heck and rusting. So we're going to have to come up with a way to probably sand it and then refinish it and try and match that original color. All right, so while that automotive primer is drying, check out these bad boys. So this is a little LED stripping that I picked up off of Amazon. And the idea with this is that it's going to go right in to where my old dial was. What I've done is I've pulled the old knobs and such. This is the front plate. And I'm going to attach the LED right here to the bottom strip. And then that way I can get any kind of like vintage glowing look, or I can make it barf rainbows. Whatever I'm feeling. It should look pretty cool. Alright, so next part is moving all of my components from here into there. And what I'm going to probably do is actually cannibalize a whole bunch of old parts from my Fantex case here. This has been a great case to build in. I absolutely loved it. The problem is it is just too darn big, and I'm trying to fit this into a smaller spot on my desk. So, for example, some of these drive holders and such, even some of the standoffs for my motherboard, probably that fan, and then where is it? There's an SSD holder back here, so that thing, I'll probably use that just to mount everything up. And then I might even end up using some of like the fan brackets and such, just to get it all looking nice. So one major hacksaw job later, and I managed to actually fit my old Fantex tray into here, which is awesome because then I have stuff to mount it to. Now I just have to probably attach some cross supports for this thing so that way it's nice and solid, it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm also going to cut open that side so I can get some airflow and potentially cut some holes in the back here. So here she is. It's coming out pretty good. You can see I spray painted the old chassis from my Fantex case and then went all Edward scissored hands on it and chopped the thing up and made it fit. And that is mounted right into the case itself. And then I actually took the PSU bracket, cut that, fit it on the back there. And I just mounted my CPU cooler. It's not the prettiest on the outside, but it's kind of supposed to look hot rodded, I guess, for lack of a better word. And then I went and I spray painted the dial here. That piece comes out behind it, spray painted it in a nice color white after cleaning it off. And then underneath I've attached a 2x4 to support this. And I'm not really worried about it being a fire hazard because it's far enough away from anything that's hot. And I looked up the temperature that wood combusts at. And nothing in my PC is going to get that hot, so I think it's okay. And it'll also be a convenient place to attach some Velcro for some cable management. So Next part is to start slapping this all together. Well, I got everything seated. Everything's hooked up. Cable management is a mess. Don't look at that. I'm gonna figure something out for that. AIO is mounted. All power cables are connected. All fans in the back are now mounted. This thing has a lid. You can see it's sitting over here. I'll put that back on eventually. But I think we're good to go. My IO panel, boom. All that, boom. And now this is the part that's gonna make me nervous. Come on, baby. First time, first time. Aha. There we go. Ooh, my Aura Sync just turned on. I forgot to turn the power on. Let's try that again. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Oh, I love when things work. That's cool. Once I hook this up to my peripherals and stuff and I have it hooked up to a monitor, I'm going to make sure it's not like barfing rainbows. That's not obviously not the aesthetic I'm going for here. Damn, this is awesome. I've picked up some plexiglass here from my local hardware joint, and I took the original lid and I'm actually tracing it to use it as a template because I'm going to put a clear lid on that. I've also gotten some gold cabling. I think it looks kind of cool and retro-y, which is what I'm going for. I've affixed some knobs, and then I was mocking up where and possibly how to attach both the original record player arm and the original Silvertone electronic nameplate and dial. This is a custom cover plate that I made out of some plexiglass. And then I used the original record player arm. I used some gaskets from my Fantex case, like I had said. And then I cut out a big old notch for my GPU. And I think this is pretty awesome because, like I said, I wanted to find a way to kind of use this record player arm again because it's just so cool. I had completely wet sanded it because it was all chewed up and disgusting looking, and spray painted it actually with a color called vintage gold. And then on the plexiglass here, what I did was I spray painted the bottom of it. So you can see that the gold color actually doesn't look that even, but it doesn't really matter because when you spray the one side, the other side is going to look nice and even. And it even has a shine because there's actually no paint on this. This is just raw plexiglass here. And then I'm going to drop it in here and we will be about finished. I just got my RMA for my pump that wasn't lighting up properly. So I'm going to take that out, put the new one in that I just got, and then put this thing together and we'll be done. So PC is finally done. It's taken over a month to finish this because unfortunately I not only had to RMA my motherboard because that crapped out in the middle of this, I also had to RMA my CPU cooler, which is really annoying. I actually ended up replacing my motherboard because I'm so sour on Asus. That was the second one that I'd replaced. Ended up going with an MSI board and a Ryzen 5950X CPU. So I bumped it up a little bit. Also, the graphics card is new. It's an EVGA FTW Ultra, and I'm coming from an RX 480, so that's pretty amazing. And overall, I'm very happy with the way this thing came out. Excuse the mess on my desk here. I think from start to finish, this is the vision that I had. Maybe not necessarily in this shape, but just the fact that I was able to incorporate some of the original pieces here, specifically the original dial and the record player arm, and just kind of make something pretty retro and unique outside of the normal spaceship PC case that we typically see. Kind of makes me happy. I like the way this came out. So thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and ask me questions. I'll be happy to answer anything about the build process if you are potentially thinking about doing something else like this as well. So thanks for watching. Take it easy. See you on the next.